Hold.
The withhold doesn't even hold back. One Musaf doesn't hold back the other, which means as follows. Rashi explains it elsewhere in Parshas Pinchas as well. We learn that out as well. That for the Musaf offering in Parshas Pinchas, if I remember rightly, you have to bring 2 bulls, Porim b'nei bakar shnayim, 2 young bulls, Eilim ayil echad, v'shiva kvasim b'nei shana. 2 bulls, 1 ram, and 7 sheep. Okay? Sheep meaning in its first year. Ayil is a ram in its second year. Okay? Porim b'nei bakar also bulls in their second year. Or maybe in their third year actually. I'm not sure.
What do they signify? First, second, third?
What's this, the cover 3 years? Yeah.
That's the Korban Musaf, meaning...
Excuse me, what do they signify? First, second, third year?
What do you mean?
Why
What's the serious? I don't know necessarily. But anyway, that's the halacha. It has to be. The keves is always in its first year.
And the ayah in the second year.
And the
par in its third year.
I think it's in its third year. I think so. Because par ben bokar. Generally, when it says stam par, it means in its third year. It says par ben bokar. I think it means referred to in its second year. I'm not sure, but I'll have to check up about that. Akoponim, 2 bulls, 1 ayil, 1 ram, and 7 sheep. Now what happens if for whatever reason they did not have any bulls or rams? Do you just bring the sheep?
Oh. I would say
You've got it
yes.
right here.
Did they ever have an instance where they didn't have all 2?
Whatever, it could be happening, I'm not saying, but the Pasuk learns out, we learn out from here, we crafted Isha in the singular.
8.
Okay? Is, we learn out that even if you don't have all of them, right, even just one, whatever you have, bring. And that's what he says.
Okay.
The musaf, the animals, the sacrifices brought for the musaf offering,
That you don't withhold
hold back one
anything that you have for the sake of another.
right. Meaning, if you haven't got the whole lot, you're not going to bring anything. No, you bring whatever you have.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The Hikravtim.
Isha el Hashem. And Rashi's now going to explain how do you learn that out.
Okay. From that. Okay. The in any case. Or however.
Whatever the case, in ein parim.
In parim, if there isn't a cow.
Got it.
Bulls, right? Havei elim, bring. Havei elim, bring rams.
Rams. And also to replace the bulls that you didn't bring. I mean. No. That you can't. Just the number.
The number, no. Even if you don't have 2 bulls, and
bring 3.
Bring 1 ram, just 1 ram. No, you only bring 1
ram.
lamb. Okay.
And if there isn't any
bulls or rams.
Then you bring
still bring the sheep. Still bring the sheep. Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay. Now, next Rashi. Shivas Yomim. Now, Rashi is dwelling on the expression. It should then say Shiva Yomim, 7 days. Shivas Yomim.
Right.
Yes, what do you want to ask?
It says in all circumstances. What does that mean? Every sacrifice, every prayer, everything we ever do in Judaism. If you can't go to the top, what are we saying here?
In referring to this Korban Musaf, the Musaf offering, altogether was supposed to be 10 animals. 2 bulls, 1 ram, and 7 sheep. And this is particularly in this case. Each Yom Tov had maybe have a slightly different one. This was the case in Pesach. Let's take this example. So what happens if you didn't have bulls and didn't have the ram? Should you bring the 7 sheep?
Okay. For this particular instance.
Right.
Okay.
Not in all circumstances. No, because there are certain situations. I'll give you an example, which we had in last week's Parsha. The 2 goats, which were offered on Yom Kippur. One as offered Lashem, and one was La'azazel. If you didn't have one, you couldn't have the other. There, the faket, and there, the Gemara says, Ma'akvin zeh, each one, it says, It's got to be Shnei Asirim Lifnei Hashem. It's got to be Shnei Asirim Lifnei Hashem means They've got to be parallel, equal. Not only that, they have to be very similar. Means same height, same color. I don't know if they have to be the same color. Same height, same type. Means that, first of all, because when you made the lot, right, you drew the lots and you say which one was which, it could have gone either way.
Right.
So you can't have one better, nicer than the other. They both have to be equal, same height, same quality. So there, and there, forget, he says, Ma'akvin says, if you don't have one, you can't have the other. Okay, there's a whole discussion if the one of them died, what do you do?
You cancel out, I guess.
So the Gemara says you've got to bring two new ones. And what to do with the one remaining old one? That's in itself a discussion. That's a whole discussion.
Oh, I see. You just don't replace. You have to.
You have to have a new pair, right?
You know what you should do is recycle until next year. Put it back in the pen again.
Well, then it won't be the Soya anyway. It won't be the same age. It has to be a certain age.
Oh, so put it
Okay.
in the pen.
Anyway, let's continue. Now, he says the expression Shivas Yomim. Right? Now, Rashi's dwelling on the fact that it doesn't say 7 days Shiva Yomim, it should say. Shivas Yomim means a 7 of days. Literally, translating it literally. A 7 of days.
What does that mean?
Oh, so Rashi says, Kol Mokum. The Kof Mem means Kol Mokum. No, that's the third line. Kol Mokum.
Oh, sorry. But the Kol Mokum, in any case,
Any place, Shenema, where it says.
Shivat, Shem Devar.
It's a noun. Shavua Shel Yomim.
It's the 7th of days.
A week of days.
A week of days.
Satene Belas. V'chein Kol Roshon Shmoinas. Sheishes.
8th, 6th, 5th, and 3rd.
Chameshes, Shloishes means a group of. I mean, it's not just 7 days, because that if the Torah just said you offer up a korban for 7 days, means I might think, okay, for 7 days you've got to offer a musaf prayer, a musaf offering. But it can be Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, the following Sunday again, and then as long as you've over a certain period you've offered a korban for 7 days, that's fine. No. Shivas Yom means a period of 7 days, a 7-day period. A continuous, starting Sunday, finish on Shabbos. Okay? Starting Tuesday, finish on Monday. It's got to be a complete block of 7 days.
Block of days, whenever you do it.
Right. And similarly, wherever it says Shmoinas or Sheishes, Chameshes, Shloishes, means a group of that number of days. It means a contained group, not spread out with any gaps in between. Okay? Now, next Rashi. Melaches Avodah.
Okay, Afilu Melachot
Lochem Avodah.
Avodah B'Soref Sheyesh Chisaron Kis Ba'atala
Shelahem
Kegon Devar
Ha'oved
Kach
Hevanti
Avanti
Mitoras Kohanim. And now I'm going to have to explain this whole Rashi. Let's read the Rashi. Diktoni v'yochol af choyle shomoyet yehi oso b'meleches
v'yochol af choyle shomoyet yehi asur b'melechet avodah
v'chulu. Now, this Rashi is a subject, big machlokes between Rashi and the Rambam. And let me explain, there's also another important question over here. If you go back to the previous pasuk Zayin, it says, "Vayom Rishonim HaKodesh yeh lochem kol melaches avodah lo yisasu." Pasuk Zayin. Then this pasuk again repeats, "V'kravtem Mishel Hashem Shivas Yom, vayom Hashem HaKodesh kol melaches avodah lo yisasu." Now, I've got a question. Why does Rashi all of a sudden dwell on this terminology, melaches avodah, what it means, in this pasuk, which is pasuk Ches? We just mentioned that with regard to the first day of Pesach, and the previous pasuk Zayin. Why didn't Rashi dwell on there?
I think because one day you're talking about Shabbos and one day you're talking about Yontif.
No, both are talking about Yom Tov. One is talking about the first day of Pesach, and the Yom HaShvi is talking about the 7th day of Pesach. Okay? Now, so let me explain.
What's the question again?
why does Rashi only dwell on this terminology, Melachas Avodah, in this pasuk, which is the second time it's mentioned? Why didn't Rashi talk about it when it's the first time it's mentioned? Melachas Avodah Lo Yisasu in pasuk Zayin. Okay?
I was close.
Okay, now let me explain to you what the Ramban takes up with Rashi. The Ramban explains, and we're going to explain Rashi in a minute, but the way Ramban explains the terminology Melachas Avodah, I actually mentioned this, I think, touched on it yesterday. We said that Yom Tov is different from Shabbos. Shabbos, all 39 melachas are forbidden. Right? On Yom Tov, it's not so. Because we allowed, as mentioned in Parshas Boy, it says, Ach asher ya'ochel lechom nefesh, hu levado yoseh lachem. On Yom Tov, we're not forbidden all 39 melachas. Those melachas which are connected with with the preparing food, that's what is forbidden. Okay? But that's not forbidden. No, those melachas which are connected with preparing food is permitted on Yom Tov. So says the Ramban, that's what it means, Melachas Avodah. Those melachas which are to do with work, as opposed to preparing food, right? That is what's forbidden on Yom Tov. But melachas means creative actions which are connected with preparing food, not with. Let me put it in loose terms. Those creative actions which are connected with the kitchen, rather than with the office or the workshop, okay, that's permitted on Yom Tov. That's what those. So therefore, the Torah says over here, what is forbidden is those melachas which are not connected with the kitchen, those which are connected with the workshop or the office or anything like that. Melachas avodah, work which is for, in other words, creative actions which are for work, are forbidden on Yom Tov. But what is connected for food, which is preparing food, that is permitted. So the Chayah Pasha, that's why Rashi didn't dwell on the previous passage. He says, when the Torah says, you mustn't do work, creative action, I call melacha, a creative action for work, you mustn't do. That's what's referred to in Pasuk Zayin. Okay? But now Rashi is bothered by the fact that the Torah repeated it over here in the garden the seventh day. Why did the Torah have to repeat again? It says, we know that on Yom Tov, what is forbidden is those types of creative actions which are due for work, but those which are creative actions which are due for food are permitted. So why does the Torah repeat again, again, the same thing? Why did the Torah need to repeat it? So Rashi says here, we're indicating something else. Okay? On Meister, the Halach is as follows. On Chol HaMoed, it's not a free-for-all. You're not allowed to do anything you want on Chol HaMoed. There's certain melachas which you're not allowed to do. That's why people are very particular not to write on Chol HaMoed. Or to go and build something. A person wants a building project or something like that. To go ahead and build this thing, which is not something necessary to do on Chol HaMoed, you're forbidden to do on Chol HaMoed. Okay? So, however, let's say a person is employed as by a non-Jewish company, let's say, and he's employed, and if he says, listen, if you don't come into work on Chol HaMoed, you're going to lose your job, he's allowed to come and he's allowed to go and work on Chol HaMoed. Why? Because working on Chol HaMoed is going to involve losing out. It's a davar obed, meaning if he doesn't work on Chol HaMoed, he's going to not just lose his livelihood on Chol HaMoed, but he's going to lose out his livelihood in general. Okay? Then he is allowed to work on Chol HaMoed. However, only on Chol HaMoed. On Yom Tov, he's not permitted. So that's what Rashi explains over here. What the Torah is adding in by saying a second time, meaning even work which you need for your livelihood, which would be permitted on Chol HaMoed, but on Yom Tov itself, that's forbidden. And so that's what Rashi says over here. V'tzorech, even work actions, creative actions which consider you for work, and are something which you require. Sheyesh chisoren kis b'vatola, that there's a monetary loss involved if you don't do it. B'vatola shalem, kogoin davar aved, something which is going to cause a loss if you don't do it. Right? That is forbidden on Yom Tov. Why? Kach evanti b'Toras Kohanim. Rashi says it. That's what I understood from Toras Kohanim. Why? I might think that these Melaches Avodah would be also in Chol HaMoed. No. Talmud Leima b'Melaches Avodah. That only Yom Tov is forbidden on Melaches Avodah, but Chol HaMoed is permitted. Why is that? Because Chol HaMoed is permitted. Any work which you need for your livelihood is permitted on Chol HaMoed. But work for livelihood, but work which involves doing creative actions, like building or anything like that, other melachas, besides food, that's forbidden to do on Yom Tov itself.
What happens if someone's a construction worker?
And?
Yeah, no,
So he is allowed, if he's a construction worker and the boss says to him, if you don't come on Chol HaMoed, you're going to lose out, you're going to fire you, then he is permitted to work on Chol HaMoed. Baruch Hashem, here in this country, many, I would say the vast majority of companies are closed on Chol HaMoed, and therefore it's much easier for a person not to get away, to have a job, and I know, for instance, even my daughter, she actually doesn't work for them now, she's a computer programmer, and she used to work for Intel, which is an international company, which they, actually it's interesting, they do work on Chol HaMoed, but she's permitted, in other words, it was not included on her vacation days, so she could take off Chol HaMoed. So she could take off Chol HaMoed, she didn't work on Chol HaMoed, but it was not even included in her vacation days. They gave her that dispensation. They're very, very good employers. But actually, it's interesting. She now moved to because there was certain arrangement in the company. She now moved to Mobileye. She works working for Mobileye now.
Oh, that's a good company.
Right.
Which is actually
it's a subsidiary
of Intel.
Well, actually, it's more like Intel because they paid $15 billion. If you pay $15 billion, call it what you want. They want to see progress.
Anyway, so
almost $15 billion.
Yes, they pay $15 billion.
Intel, but to buy Mobileye.
Yes, I think that's ridiculous.
Whatever. Anyway, as long as my daughter's getting paid every month,
She's probably getting paid top shekel.
Could be. I don't know. Anyway, she's definitely getting better paid than she was by Intel. That's for sure. Anyway, I'll go upon him. As long as she don't come knocking on my door and say, "Dad, help." But Baruch Hashem, she's okay. Fine, let's continue. Yaakov.
Yes.
Pasuk Tes.
Vaydeber Moshe lemor. Now the Lord spoke to Moses.
Hashem spoke to Moses,
saying, "Gaber bnei Israel, speak to." Oh, that's saying. Right. Okay. There's nothing there.
Speak to the Bnei Israel.
Yes. Nothing there.
On Tes, there's nothing.
Right. So 10. Vaydeber bnei Israel, speak to the children of Israel. V'amar alehem, and say to them. Kitavo el haaretz. When you come to the land, asher ani noten lahem, which I give to you, uksartem et katsira, and shall reap the harvest.
It's harvest.
Yes. V'habeitem et omer.
Omer.
And you shall bring is that the sheaf?
The Omer.
The Omer.
Oh. You see, Rashi, he translates it as the sheaf.
Right.
And Rashi is going to explain that's not the meaning of it.
Right. Reshit Kitzalchem, of the first fruits of your harvest, El HaKohen, to the priest. Of the first, right, Reshit Kitzalchem, of the first fruits of your harvest.
Right.
Shetahei Rishonah, it should be first in harvesting.
Rishonah Lakatzir, of the harvest. It should be the first, means the first harvesting which you do, those sheaves of corn,
Yeah.
of a grain.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it's barley grain, right?
So sheaf, we're trying to understand what he's
Wait,
trying to explain.
it
So he says
stalks.
Omer,
I would rather call it stalks. Those stalks of grain.
the 10th part of an effort is...
Oh, no, wait, slow down. Yeah,
Slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Omer. What is Omer? Rashi says, what is an Omer? You translate it as a sheaf.
Yeah.
No, Rashi says it's not that. Omer is a series ha'efa. The Torah is telling you what the measure of how much grain you have to bring.
Right.
Okay?
10th of an effort.
With ephah, it's a 10th of an ephah. Kach haisa shma.
This was its name. That's an Omer. Right, and they measured with the Omer.
Right, now, this, where does it say vayomodu va'omer?
It says it at the beginning.
Does it quote, to give you a quote there where
Wake up 10, is that it?
It says by the man.
Oh,
How much man did each person receive every day? An omer.
Yeah.
Now that was a measure. It wasn't a sheaf.
No.
It wasn't a bundle of it wasn't a bundle of grain. Okay. Now it's interesting. I'm not going to go into it now. Why the same terminology is used for a bundle as is used for this measure, which is much less than that.
Oh.
They might say it wasn't a small amount. It's very interesting.
Is it £10?
Each person received, in the amount of man which he received, an omer measure. Omer measure, the Torah tells us, and that's where Rashi gets it from, Asir Soifa, it's a preferred pasuk in the Torah. V'omer Asiri Soifa hu. Okay, the omer, what is an omer, which each person received every day as a portion of man, was a 10th of an ephah. How much is a 10th of an ephah? The Gemara explains is the size of 43 1/5 eggs. And we're talking about necessarily could be even larger eggs than we know the large eggs we have now. Right. But basically, it's a shear, same shear as what we make challah from. Okay? When a woman makes challahs, whatever, she has to have a certain measurement of flour, right? From which she can make challahs. Okay? She's got to have a measure of 43 1/5 eggs size, that amount of flour. If she has such a dough, makes such a dough from such an amount, then she's got an obligation to separate challah, and so we're not sure exactly what.
It's about £10. About £10.
No, it's less, much less.
So it's £2.
It's about. I think it's about 1.5. According to the most Chumrah share, is about 1.5. No, 2.25 kilo. 2.25 kilo is about
like 2.2 pounds.
2.25.
It's about 5
4.5 plus it's about 5 pounds.
5 pounds.
It's about 5 pounds of flour. Okay, but that's the Chumrah share. Pashas, even if it's about even just 2/3 of about 3.5 pounds, it's also one has to separate the challah without a bracha. Akoponim, on average, my wife makes between either four not really large challahs or 6 average size challahs. From that, that means each person received every day let's say 4 challahs of bread to eat.
Wow.
It's quite a bit. I never eat in such an amount. I'm talking each person himself. It's a lot of food. Mind you, the manna it wasn't hard to eat because it was a light food and it got
digested.
Right, and it was in place of everything. It was a full calorie diet, right? Meaning the man, he didn't eat fish, he didn't eat they could have had quails. They could have had quails as well. Whatever, but they didn't need vegetables, they didn't need milk, they didn't need cheese, they didn't need anything else. All they had was man. Man wasn't a good food.
Man
right?
what?
I said man, it was really good food, right? Okay?
And then coming all the tastes that they wanted to.
Any taste, right? Any taste you wanted.
Hamburgers.
Yeah, whatever. What happens if you want to have a hamburger with a Big Mac, right? It's a cheeseburger. I don't know if it got that taste. I'm not sure. But technically, it wasn't actually eaten that together. But it was actually a forbidden taste. I don't know. Actually, the Gemara says an interesting thing. There's no such thing as a forbidden taste. Because whatever the Torah forbade to have, let's say, for instance, the Torah forbade to eat blood, right? The Torah says you're allowed to eat liver, and even though the liver has basically the taste of blood. So the Torah never forbade, there was no such thing as a forbidden taste. There's a forbidden food, but the Torah always gave that taste of that forbidden food somewhere else where it's permitted. Yes?
Just an observant. Yeah. The manna is a wonderful thing, like I said, it tasted like so many things. Now, we know about when God gives us food, He makes it exciting visually. Now, you just see this white stuff every day. Do you think that was one of the reasons why they could have complained?
Well, they did.
No, because of the colour.
Not just the colour. Oh, the colour, I don't know.
Does that make it appetizing? You see a red apple, it's appetizing. You see white fish, it's something, brown meat. But you see that white colour.
The monotony, what they says, they complained about the monotony.
Yeah, I'm talking about
all we see is man.
Yeah. Yeah, so
they complained later on in Parshas
so they've actually, if they had
the question is, if it had been green, it would have been the same complaint. Could well have been.
One day green, one day blue.
Then they would eventually ask for only white.
Well, they have white.
There have to be so many colors. Why can't I just have something white?
Anyway,
whatever it is.
The white is beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you name this, please?
I don't know if I can do that.
Anyway, so the Rashi is explaining over here that the omer, so that was how much person amount. I'm just saying the omer was not a small amount.
Oh.
Okay? It's about, so I was saying it's about 5 pounds of, 5 pounds. Okay, now here, so Rashi says over here, when the Torah says they had to bring an omer, that is in this omer, means they had to bring 1/10 of an ephah of grain, right? To the Kohen, that's what they offered up as this offering. Okay. However, I'll somewhat vindicate the translation of as a bundle, as he said, because the Gemara says, and this l'chorah is very symbolic why this period is called Sviyas Ha'omer. Why is this period of time called Sviyas Ha'omer? Really what it means is, from the time the Omer offering was brought till Shavuos, and the second offering was brought of the 2 loaves, this is the time when that's what the Torah says. When you see in Pasuk Tespov. The mitzvah Torah gives the mitzvah of counting 7 weeks. Okay? Why does Torah call it specifically Omer? Is the idea as follows. And also one other thing. It means a bundle, right? But it also means the end product of this amount of grain.
That would normally come from a bundle.
Okay. Why the 2 things have the same name? The answer is, and this one venture suggest an answer is, what we have to realize, what the Torah is symbolically telling us over here is, you're supposed to take a certain amount of raw material, okay, which is called Omer, and you've got to make from that your end product, a refined end product from that.
So what do you offer
And the Melo, this is really what our Avodah is.
So we're trying to be clear ourselves?
Right, in other words, what our Avodah is during these 7 weeks is we're taking ourselves, our raw product selves, and during these 7 weeks we're supposed to refine ourselves and come out with the fine, refined product when we come to Shavuos.
So when it goes on the altar, the sheaf is ground down and...
it's ground into flour.
Yes.
Okay?
And that's barley.
Yeah, that was barley.
What again?
Rashi doesn't mention that here. Rashi mentions it later.
Why barley the first one? Because the
that's
animal.
That's animal food.
So what? So think of the animals first.
No. The idea is an animal is uncouth, unrefined.
All right.
And
we can improve it too.
We start off from Pesach time being somewhat
rough
and ready. Just came out of the
sweatshops.
Out of Mitzrayim, just came out of the place of slavery. Right, we were somewhat uncouth and unrefined. And during the 7 weeks we refine ourselves and we're ready now to accept the Torah on Shavuos. Okay.
That's turn.
Okay, I think we just have time to read Pasuk Yud Aleph without the Rashi. Matt, you ready to read? And we can give you a rain check for the Rashi tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
The Heimif. You have Pasuk Yud Aleph. Pasuk 11.
Oh, Yud Aleph. Okay, thank you. V'heinif es ha'omer lifnei Hashem lirtzonchem mimacharas hashabas yenifenu
Fenu. It's emphasis on
yenifenu hakohen.
So let's translate the Pasuk.
Ye shall wave the omer before Hashem to be an appeasement for you.
Right, to be accepted for you, right?
On the morrow of the rest day, the Kohen shall wave it.
Right. Note how he translated it correctly. It doesn't say Machras of Shabbos, of the day after Shabbos. No, on the day after, on the morrow of the rest day. As we will see Rashi yesterday, he's referring to Yom Tov, first day of...
Which is always on Sunday?
No, that's exactly was the point of contention between the Grushim, right, the Chachamim, and the Sadducees, the Tzdukim.
When we talking about the calendar, this
Right,
way that the Passover can only be on certain days.
Yes, it can't be on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, but it can be on a Tuesday, and it can be on a... okay, Kitzur, but the thing is that Tzdukim always try to wangle it, that Pesach always fell on a Shabbos. We're going to have to discuss this tomorrow.
But Shavuos,
okay?